Hey, what's up? It's Andy Fogarty from theathomewelder.com, and today I'm going to share with you something that I like to call the cursive welding technique. Now, I gave that name. It's had many other names, from the horseshoe technique, the C technique, the E, the U, all sorts of different names, but one thing you can be sure of is this is the time-tested technique for proper MIG welding. This is going to give you those beautiful, solid, sturdy welds that hold up forever and have people around you looking at it and going, wow, that guy knows how to weld. So, without further ado, let's get into this time-tested MIG welding technique. Now, I call this the cursive technique because just like the cursive handwriting in school that you used to do, it's all continuous, it's all connected, with a lot of loops, one motion, there's no breaks in the pattern. So that's why I call it the cursive. But you can call this the horseshoe pattern, you can call it whatever you want, just as long as you do it correctly. And so I'm going to show you here. I've got the wire hanging out just a little bit much, just so I can use it as a pointer, so you can see what's going on here. So I'm going to just kind of do some loops here. A little bit of a U with a little loop, a U, a little loop, loop, or a bunch of little L's, however you want to say it. But that's the general motion that we're going to do. You can also do this as sort of a C or a horseshoe, to where you're pushing it and you're kind of going in this motion, just like this. And all the while, your weld pool is going to be pushing, and you're going to be distributing the heat back and forth. So as long as you keep a nice steady movement, you're not going to blow through the metal and get too much heat or get too much weld gooped up right there. You just want to make sure you have a nice constant motion where you're pushing the weld pool. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Alright, so you can see I've got a nice little weld here. It's actually probably bigger than what I needed to, but I forgot to turn down my wire speed before I did this. But what else I wanted to show you was what I did here at the end. Now, when I stopped, I actually left it here a little bit too long, so you can see what happens when you do that. So you want to make sure that when you're stopping, that you don't leave it on the metal too long, because you're going to blow through. Now, of course, the next thing you got to do is you got to fill that. You can just give it a little tap, almost do a little spot weld. As long as you're not doing anything crazy structural, you're going to be okay. What happens if you just do a straight weld, where you're just kind of pushing it? There's no cursive motion, there's no circular motion at all, you're just pushing it, which is what a lot of people do, unfortunately. See, there was no circular motion, there was no dispersing of the weld pool, there was no pushing it up and down to get in the corners to make sure you have a nice bond. All we have here is a little bitty seam here. You can see it doesn't even look that pretty. It's kind of jagged, a little bit, it's a little squirrely in here. This will at least hopefully hold up somewhat, but you can definitely see a difference in between the welds. Now, which weld are you going to trust more? This one or this one? Right, we're going to go with this one here. So not only is this probably not going to hold up too long, there's not going to be enough penetration all throughout this weld. It's very spotchy. So I can see right in here, I definitely don't have enough penetration in there to where the metal is actually bonding. Alright, so that's it for the cursive technique, or the horseshoe technique, whatever it is that you call it. But you can see it's a very simple process, a very simple technique to learn. Of course, it's going to take a little bit of practice, but it is very simple. And it's definitely one that you want to get down, because this is what we use 95% of the time in the MIG welding process, especially when you're doing ornamental projects like railings and gates and furniture and that kind of thing. So this is definitely one you want to practice and get down. And besides, it's just kind of nice to see those really pretty welds when you're done, without having to go back and grind them and clean them up. Just saves a lot of time. So that's it. I'm Andy Fogarty from theathomewelder.com. If you want to see more videos like this, go check out theathomewelder.com and sign up for MIG Welding 101, where you'll learn more great tips and tricks like this.